Welcome everyone, man, to Southwest Detroit Chronicles, man. I'm over here, Southwest Detroit, Bagley, Mexican town. Now, I just did a video right now about the murals of Southwest Detroit, but now I'm gonna switch to go over to, breaking down back to what I was saying. So, like I was saying, Mexican population came here in sometime in the 1900s. You know, I don't know the exact date, because I mean, actually, there was, some people say the 1800s, and they came on trains. So, I'm gonna say between late 1800s, early 1900s, the Mexican population came to Southwest Detroit and started, blooming, growing here. Then, like I said, the Puerto Ricans started coming here around the 60s, man. My parents came here from Puerto Rico around late 60s. And when they came, it was a small population. And believe me, the Puerto Rican population around here was small for a long time, because every Puerto Rican knew each other. I mean, still to this day, this is my family's tamale shop, my wife's family's tamale shop, one of the oldest tamale shops there. Yeah, like I was, man, like all the people, Puerto Ricans we knew around here, man, to this day we call aunts and uncles, because there wasn't that many, man. There wasn't that many Puerto Ricans here, man. It's like we all knew each other. And over here, there was the first Puerto Rican social club, I believe, was over here, coming up on 25th and Verner. So, actually, it was ran by my aunt, who was my uncle's wife's mom, a long time ago. I don't believe I ever met her, but I heard stories about it. So, anyways, man, let me call to the next subject in hand. So, Verner Avenue, this is Verner. So this would be perhaps with 20. I heard a comparison to 26. They compare Detroit to Chicago because of the gang element that was going on around here in the gang banging 90s. So this side of Southwest Detroit, over by here, this is the 25th Vernon right here. This is the first Puerto Rican social club was at. There's a lot to break down, man. We got here, man. This is Vernon Boulevard. Now, I grew up mainly between the Boulevard. I grew up my whole life between the Boulevard and I'm gonna go straight down Vernon Ave. So I grew up mainly my whole life between Illinois and the Boulevard, which is a long way. Now, this side of Vernon over here, which is this side, I say the viaducts, which is the viaducts is after Vernon, after Illinois, when you pass the viaducts over there, right? Well, this side of Vernon over here mainly was, was Mexicans, Cubans. Like I said, Cubans was the third largest population coming up. Now, I'm gonna try, because everything's been done over the past few years. Now, this is Crackpark. I'm gonna be taking you guys through, right? Right here, if you guys can look to the right, man, there used to be a bar. It was an infamous bar called Carnival Bar. Now, that bar was infamous for so much stuff, man. Like, a lot of shit jumped off at that bar from the 70s. But road closed, wow. So, roads closed over here, man. Like I said, man, a lot of stuff happening around here with the bridges coming up. But this is Crackpark, man. And I was trying to take you guys around Crackpark. But we're going back down to Bagley, this side of Bagley. Now, Bagley back in the day ran straight through. Now I want to show you how the freeway divided it, because later on the freeway came and divided Bagley. Now back in the day, the first known Mexican gang here in Detroit, Southwest Detroit, were the Bagley Boys. The Bagley Boys was started perhaps in the late 50s. They were more like a doo-wop crew, and that became a gang. So, well-known gang. Everyone's, the Bagley Boys were known for years and years and years. So, they were here for a long time. I'd say from the 50s to perhaps the 70s, at least a good 20-year run around here. 10 to 15-year run. So, before then, Bagley was a whole street. It wasn't interrupted. It wasn't. Now, I'm going to show you, like, over there by where I was at was Murals. That's the other side of Bagley. The original Mexican town. That's like old Mexican town over there. Now, this is, it's old too, but this is like the other side of Mexican town. Mexican town split up when Bagley, separated with the freeways. So I'm not quite sure. I think that happened like around the mid-70s with all that. So right up here on Bagley. This is the other side of a Mexican town with all the restaurants at. Erie's Tamales, I'm not sure how old they are, but everyone likes their tamales also. Lupe's Restaurant, Lupe's Taqueria. These restaurants, not all of them, but I want to say for sure, this one, that one to the right, Mexican restaurant, El Zocalo. Well, El Zocalo been having a lot of Latino stuff, but this neighborhood, man, became kind of catering to the gentrifiers, to the gentrificators. So, man, I should get some barbacoa. I might do that. I might switch over here on that. But yeah. So this is La Gloria's Bakery, man. This is like one of the best bakeries, man. They make the best barbacoa, man. And I'm gonna see, cause I don't want to be trying with food, and I'm still doing this video. Well, okay, this is the freeway. This is how it was separated. Boom, right here, dead smack in the middle for the Canadian Bridge, which has been there forever, but they wanted to expand it or whatever, or expand the traffic flow to it. So they, split Bagley in half. This hood I'm pulling up now, man, this was perhaps one of the original folk hoods that I remember. Probably one of the first ones. And it's right here on Porter and 25th. Now, I grew up around this area right here when I was younger, in my younger years. I had friends that grew up with it. My mom's good friend lived in this building right here. Look at the building's pretty nice to me. At 24th, I met one of my good friends I still know to this day. It's like my sister in this building. Well, this is 25th coming up. Now, 25th, there used to be a crew called 25th Boys. They were mainly a breakdancing crew back in the day, right? So I remember, because when we was younger, before we went to Puerto Rico, there used to be guys that set up, just be right here in this corner, man. Anthony Callis and them, right? And Anthony Callis and them used to be right here on this corner of 25th and Porter, and they used to break dance. Put a cardboard box right there and break dance. Now, there was a lot of Puerto Ricans around this area back in the day when I was growing up. Now, this is 25th. I lived down the street on Howard and 25th. Howard and 25th in the Boulevard. So this hood was known for the 25th Boys. Now, they were pretty much from, I want to say, the early 80s to the mid 80s, there was just 25th boys. That's known as 25th boys. You know, so as the gang banging 90s is rolling around, which is they became folks now. Most of them became folks. The 25th boys became a folk gang. But then they eventually became Cobras, and that's another, yeah, they became Cobras. Basically, they 25th Street Cobras, 25th Boy Cobras, but this was their hood. Between right here and 25th, down Porter right here, all through here, man, there used to be a lot of Cobra tagging. Now, what's crazy, man, all this was Cobra hood back when the 90s jumped off. Now, I lived in a building up here, but I'll come back down. Let's see if I can come back down that way. But right here, man, it was ironic. This was all folk hood. This 20, you know, this is all was 25th Boy hood, or Spanish Cobra hood, or later became DOC hood. Became the DOC hood over here, because there was a fallout between the Cobras from here and the Cobras from 14th and the Cobras from Woodman, from Cemetery side. Now I heard it was over some rank issues or whatever, man. I heard, actually, I've heard, you know, the reliable source of the story. Trust me, it was a reliable source of the story. I ran into him in prison, and he told me basically they were jealous because he went to Chicago and they gave him a rank over there, something like that. So I'm not gonna get too much into it, but all this area I just drove by, man. Like I said, man, it was original Spanish Cobra, 25th boys, you know, DOC hood. Now it's ironic because right here is where the count started. It was right here on Vinewood and Verner, somewhere in the late 80s. And then I just passed up an apartment complex that's not there no more. That was also another, you know, location, man, where all the counts used to be at, man. But that was in the late 80s. Now, okay, the counts and the Cobras came here somewhat. Well, they started here. They started as functioning as a crews, a gangs, whatever, mob, whatever, in the 80s, officially. Some say the Cobras were here a little longer. Some say the counts were here a little longer. You know, I even hear the dates, you know, 1978. You know what I'm saying? Someone said the Cobras were here in 78. Well, members of the Cobras were here in 78. Like, members of the counts was here in 78. But there was nothing. They didn't have no kind of authority, or there wasn't given permission. I don't know. There wasn't no say. I don't know. Maybe for all I know, is what I'm thinking that I would have done at first is that, you know, you got family members in another city, Chicago, you know, off the hook, hotbed, and sometimes people need to come and lay low. You know what I'm saying? Which I heard was the main story, you know, for the counts, somewhat, that, you know, a couple of their main leaders from over down Racine Street back in the day came over here, and, you know, after being on a run for murder cases in Chicago, came over here, and basically that's what I heard, you know, everything started, you know, kind of getting off the hook around here, man. Basically, they started to set, but what I was saying was, I mean, up to this point, okay, there was members of counts over here, there was members of Cobras over here. Up to that point, there was, by what I've heard from both sources, you know, from back, you know, they were older, OG, old school, that there was no problems among them. And that's what I was saying around, like I was like, man, God, around, there were counts over in that corner, they were hustling over there. But there was, you know, the Spanish Cobra hood, because they didn't really have problems with each other, because one was way on the other side of the neighborhoods, right? So, you know, you had the Cobras around the north side, and the counts were, you know, Pelson Street. You know what I'm saying? So, no beef. There was like nothing really at the time. That, you know, they knew of each other. They were around each other. I even heard they hung out with each other at first, because, you know, they kind of came over on both at the same, you know, level, just to make money. So that's what it seemed like to me when they first came over here. So now, rumor has it now how, like I said, man, there was a couple guys that came over from Chicago that was on the run. Then, you know, there was another count, man, one of the original counts here that was killed early on. He came here, you know what I'm saying? And I guess he was a land king in Chicago. And, you know, him being Puerto Rican, what I believe, him being a land king from Chicago means that he probably had run-ins with the Cobras. Which I heard this individual was the one who kind of ignited the war in two ways, because he ran into them in the after hour, and he had a confrontation with the Cobras in the after hour. And they threw him out, and him and another individual came back and shot up the after hour. That's what got it started off around here. And then a couple weeks later, or a month later, I don't know how long later, to be honest, I don't know. They caught up with him and shot and killed him. So that's what really jumped off the war here. And Southwest Detroit, I mean, between the Cobras and the Counts. Now, I know the Counts were, you know, people, and the Cobras were folks. Now, over here, I lived right here in Clark and Porter at 92. So, I just passed up the building. Now, I remember, man, before then, I was living with my aunt in Ecorse. The first counts that I heard from friends I was growing up with, you know, there's two gangs, Counts and Cobras over here, whatever. Now, the house ain't there no more. I thought it was still there. But the first counts that I ever ran into was over here. There used to be a house over here. This thing out with a white girl named Dawn. And not to mix her up with the other Dawn, a white girl named Dawn. She was a white chick. So that's when I started getting to meet some of them, because I remember some of them from the neighborhood. Like I said, I was living between my aunt and Ecorse and my mother over here. So, you know, I would go for months at a time. Like, literally, like, I would go for the winter to go to school with my aunt over there in Ecorse, or, you know, certain other parts of Detroit, and come here for the summer with my mom. So I'll be gone 5-6 months at a time. You know what I'm saying? So with that, you know, you're gone 6 months. Back then, there's no social media. Back then, I used to actually write letters to my friends over here. I live in Ecorse, they lived over here, man, and, you know, we actually used to write letters to each other, man, through the mail. That's how we communicated. Because most of us didn't have no phone or nothing. We was little, we was young. We just wrote letters to each other, man, like through the mail. So, you know, so we did that. So, like the Hana Bar, boy, that's an infamous bar too. Infamous Cougar bar. Man. So, every time 6 months would go by, man, a lot of stuff changed in 6 months, basically. So basically, all my friends, man, they divided, man. I had friends with Counts, and I had friends that was Cobras, and it's crazy because we all, you know, grew up with each other. And now we come back, you know what I'm saying? You know, I holler at somebody, be like, oh, I don't fuck with him no more. He's a flake. I'm like, what the fuck's a flake? Oh, you know, that's, you know, he's a Cobra. And I, vice versa, when I run into them. You know what I'm saying? So, it was an odd situation for me, man. You know, then my older brothers, man, they basically turned Count. So, you know, me, I was still kind of not, you know what I'm saying, into anything, man. It was like I was put in by default, kind of. Because eventually I started having problems with people that used to be my friends. And, you know, they started not liking that I was still hanging out, you know, with people that, you know, my friends that were also counts. So, long story short, that I basically faulted his account, but we over here on Christmas, man. Now, back in the game banger 90s, I remember, man, that this was a real hotbed, bro. And, you know, there was buildings, they're not here no more. There was a building that used to be right here, and I had a friend named Earl that lived there. And he was a Cobra. And then over here, man, I'm in Kent Street. I had a friend, man, that named on that house, little that house, and them, they're in trouble. You know, a few counts lived over here, man. And, you know, so instantly beef. I think there was a couple Cobras that lived over in Lansing too. So, yeah, man. But, yeah, man, a lot of stuff had happened, man. So, basically, man, so there used to be a lot of back and forth that happened around this area. You know, I consider a lot of Cobras like a pop-up crew, man. Most of the time, them guys will pop up anywhere. I mean, they were notorious for that. Pop-up, you know, I call them pop-up crews. You know, and they'll pop up anywhere, man. And next thing you know, they'll pop up. They'll be deep, man. They'll be deep as hell. They'll have straps. They'll be, 20, 30 deep in a house. Got cars, got straps. They'll spray paint everywhere, and then boom, there's a beef. A beef jumps off, man, and shit gets hot and heavy. So, people lost their lives, man. Good friends of mine lost their lives. So, as the council Cobras, man, started beefing with each other, man, they started trying to expand their neighborhoods. They started expanding, recruiting people. They went on a hell of a recruiting spree, man. And it went till, by my understanding, not trying to recruit too many people, to recruiting as many people as you can. Because when the council Cobras first came over here, it was basically one, was known as Mexican gang, the other one is Puerto Rican. But although that wasn't the case, everybody was, everyone was, okay, I can go over here to Crackpark. Everyone was mixed. Both gangs was a mixed gang mainly. But they just tell you that, what they initially tried to do, just to be 3-4 of us, man. One of the heads of the counts always said, man, that, I'd rather have 5 solid brothers than 500 lames. That was always one of his infamous quotes, man. Homeboy that passed away, Bear. So, that was always, I don't remember last time I had some other old graffiti over here, but, yeah. So, that's how, man, they went on a mad recruiting war, man, and yeah, so they started popping up anywhere, man. There was Cobras, man. Like I said, the Cobras was a pop-up crew, and the counts that were predominant, a whole hood, all this, this whole hood would be considered count hood. We're on Clark Street, right? And there'd be a pocket of Cobras here, pocket of Cobras there. You know what I'm saying? Same thing for over there in their hood, too. Same thing for their hood, Crackpark, man. Same thing for their hood, man. But this is Crackpark right here, man. And Crackpark was notorious in the 80s, 70s, and 90s. It was known as Crackpark. This is where all the Cubans and shit, the Bolos and the Pepes, and this is where they all originated from, in this park. And this park was infamous, man. I swear back in the day you can get anywhere from a dime rock to a kilo of cocaine out of this park. And everyone would tell you that's the crack 80s era. So so this park's a whole lot nicer, man. But YMCA right here to the left is still closed down, but that's YMCA. So this YMCA, man, because this YMCA was infamous for a lot of stuff going down, man. They had, how they always got these gang counselors, man, who try to resolve issues, and and stuff like that. And for some reason, man, these guys should try to like they should try like to go to these parties over here, man. These YMCA parties, man, which is a trip to me. They should try to throw these YMCA parties here. This building, I wonder why it's just ain't been sold yet. This is the infamous Clark YMCA. Now, a lot of stuff, man, went down at this YMCA. Now, this YMCA, man, was it used to be also a 3/4 house, halfway house. And so a lot of people would come when they get paroled, would be paroled up to I think the last 2 floors up there. So, and then when shit started jumping off with the with the gangbanging 90s and stuff like that, man, it's, shit used to go down, man. I even heard some was thrown out of this motherfucker up there one time. And we used to have parties here in the basement, man. And these counselors, man, I mean, you can't knock them. I mean, hey, God bless their heart. They used to try to have parties over here, man. And every time something used to jump off, and every fucking time now, and these people will come return to try to do the parties again, and constant stuff was happening around here all the time. And we used to go through that door right there, man, and down to the basement and have a party. But mainly, man, most of the time, man, it'd be mostly counts and flows, cash flows in here. It wouldn't be no, at the end of the night, someone might try to creep in, a 25th boy or fall Cobra D King or whatever, and you always used to jump off. And man, what happened? There was a shooting over here one time, I remember. Some guy named Gizmo, I believe he was a folk 25th boy, shot a count and a cash flow over there. He didn't die. They didn't die or nothing, but yeah, the infamous YMCA. Now, Crackpark over here, like I said, Crackpark was infamous. Crackpark was infamous in I say late 70s, 80s, the crack 80s, and early 90s. In the mid 90s, they started cleaning up Crackpark. But this park, this time still early, this park, man, like back in the at around about 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, that's when shit started bumping around this park, man. And this park used to be crowded. It'll be full. And there'd be people hustling drugs, man. Be people selling drugs, man. A lot of shit just jumping off, man. People just sitting all over the place. Garbage everywhere. And now it's 10 times nicer, man. Now it's 10 times nicer. But, yeah, man, this park, Crackpark, infamous Crackpark, Crackpark. Like I said, man, a lot of the big names started from out this park when they were here in Detroit. The Cubans used to mainly have it unlocked, which is, Cubans, Latinos, Puerto Ricans, or whatever, man, the ones that were putting stiff stuff out or whatever, man. But yeah, cops used to raid this park at least once a week. And there was a building over there. You can't see it over there, man. But there was a building that one of my mother's friends lived at. And she used to stand out there and watch. Like she was a people watcher. And this gas station over here used to be a Shell gas station. They used to have an alley. So that gas station, like I said, it used to be an alley back then. It looked like the whole alleys are blacked off, period. But there used to be alleys back there. And she used to tell me, man, every time a cop used to walk in, she used to be like, look, she used to be at this building over here, coming up. And I want to show you how the windows are, if you can understand, man, basically how, what I'm talking about. She was just a people watcher. Oh, that alley is still there. So, oh, there's some rails right there too. Just building up there, man. She sit at that front window right there. One of my mom's good friends used to babysit me. Her name was Rosa, right? So she lived in that building right there, and she used to sit in that building right there. You see the window? She sit up to that window to the right. And I think that window was a little bit bigger, man. I don't know if I understand it because I was younger. She used to watch the people right there. She used to be in them apartment buildings and look out the window all day long. People watching. Now this whole area would be surrounded, man, with dealers, crackheads, just people out here fucking up. Now that alley, the alley is still there. Used to see it, and she used to show me. She'll see, and it always be like, I was just telling my wife this the other day. It always be some kind of blonde-headed dude with a bomber jacket on. He'll walk out that alley. He'll walk out that alley over there, cross the street, and she'll tell me, mira. She'll be like, look, mira, esa ahí es policía. Mira que te digo. And she'll tell me everything the guy will do. The guy will walk with his eyes like looking down. He'll walk around to that area, to where that tree's at or something like that. Someone, man, people used to be out here hustling and just slinging, and not even paying attention. He'll come out there, man. He'll buy whatever from the dealer, and then when he'll turn around, she'll say, watch. She's gonna put his arm up to the air. He'll put like his right hand up or whatever, and next thing you know, bro, the van will shoot right the fuck out there, motherfucker, jump the curb, come over there, and just stretch everybody out. But yeah, how you doing? Crackpark, man, Crackpark, infamous Crackpark. There've been murders, man, too. People were shot here, man. And that's another thing, man. Like people, okay, Bolo's the most known, but there was other factions here that out of the Cubans, bro. And you know, they wasn't underneath the same umbrella. Now I don't know if they had anything to do, you know, but anything that was going on in Colombia with them guys over there, you know, with Escobar and stuff like that. But I remember most of the Cubans that come through here, they'll be like either they're from New York, or they came via New York, or they come via Miami. Now, you know, Bolo was cool. He was a good guy, man. I mean, not too many of them had any falling outs with them. Plus, Bolo didn't really fuck with too many of them. Actually, he actually fucked with another crew of people, bro. But the Cubans, like, basically, man, shit, they had a lot of sources, man. A lot of them Cubans, bro, you know, there was some that was getting work from the Cuban government. I mean, not actually from Castro themselves, or I'm not even saying they were actually either communists, but, you know, through their supply source, it actually be through former Cuban officials or current Cuban officials. So, you know, there was a lot of different sects out here, man, sects. with the Cubans, man. A lot of people, I don't think a lot of people know that. But like I said, Bolo really didn't have too much problems. But after he went down, pretty much, them guys started fighting among themselves, bro. And a lot of them guys started shooting themselves, bro. A lot of them started killing themselves. I mean, they catch a few guys slipping, killed them. Man, I knew a lot of them, man, because, I grew up with a lot of them Cubans, man. A lot of them Cubans, knew a lot of us. A lot of them, watch us grow up on Vernon. A lot of us grew up here on Vernon Avenue, man. A lot of people, especially a lot of counts that used to be counts, a lot of them, basically came up on Vernon Street. So, a lot of these Cubans, man, they had associations with us. They had associations with family members. They had associations with family friends. They had, they had a lot of affiliation with us, man. So, a lot of them, man, a lot of them are like uncles to me, they're older or whatever, man. There's a lot of them that, when we was out here doing our thing, man, that we either worked for, did shit for, associated with. But yeah, so there was a lot of different ones, man. So, like I said, when Bolo got locked up, man, and the 90s started rolling in strong, and everyone started getting work, because really, cocaine really started, drugs really started flowing through here in the 90s. In the 90s, bro, it really started coming through here hard and strong. So, when that happened, a lot of them guys started beefing with each other. A lot of them guys started beefing over women. So a lot of them guys started shooting each other, So that, caused a lot of divide within them, man. So, yeah, a lot of different stories out here, man, in this neighborhood, man. So, anyways, man, I'm going to end this video. I'm going to start another one, man, because I got another subject to break down and speak about, man. So, anyways, man, Southwest out, man.